Back to the moment. Another Friday night at the fights here at Chumash Resort and Casino in the beautiful Santa Ynez Valley off the central coast of California. Boxing crowd settling in for our Showbox main event and another look at unbeaten Argentine Carlos Abregu, who tonight faces veteran Irving Garcia in a 10-round welterweight bout. Nick Charles, as usual, ringside with Steve Farhood. You know, when Abregu beat David Estrada on Showbox last December, he left more questions than answers, really. Now he's fighting another guy who's also not a huge puncher, but a very different style. What, Steve, in terms of execution and strategy, does he have to do against Irving Garcia?
Very simple, Nick. Attack. Abregu will do well to get the fight to be an inside fight. Garcia bends over when he's on the inside. Abregu's best punch is his right uppercut. The closer they are, the better for Abregu.
So we'll see. Garcia obviously needs this fight. Otherwise, he's going down as just a test for young guys. But Carlos Abregu from Argentina, where he began boxing at 16, won a national title, 43 amateur fights. He's a 4-year pro, but built an unbeaten KO record almost exclusively with home cooking, inferior opposition. When we featured him last December on Showbox against David Estrada, the rugged vet, toughest challenge of his career. And Abregu came out and established himself. He was the busier guy and more effective puncher as he swept the early rounds. Yet it worried him that Estrada took his best shots and didn't blink. Abregu also suffered a cut in the 5th, and it too may have unnerved him because Estrada took over much of the second half of the fight. Abregu surrendered ground, absorbed punishment, faded down the stretch, but had enough early rounds in the bank to win a disputed, unpopular split decision to stay unbeaten. Since then, he fought 6 weeks ago and won a 10-round unanimous decision back in Argentina. He's now 26-0 with 21 knockouts. Take us behind the numbers, Steve.
Well, Nick, 10 twice after knocking out just about everybody in Argentina. Abregu's been 10 rounds in his last 2 starts. That's invaluable experience if he wants to be world class. Confidence boost. Abregu's win on Showbox over the tougher-than-tough Estrada was worth more than his other 25 wins combined. Now he knows he belongs with the big boys. And full calendar, when most prospects grow into 10-round fighters, they slow their schedule. Not Abregu. He fought 5 times last year. This will be his 2nd fight this year.
Irving Garcia is from Puerto Rico, started boxing at 13, won 50 of 60 amateur fights, and turned pro 10 years ago. During that time, he earned 2 college degrees while continuing to box with mixed success. When he got stopped early 2 years ago, though, by Saeed Awali, he may have turned the corner from prospect to trial horse. Garcia did win a 10-round decision in his most recent fight against former prospect Chris Smith. Irving Garcia is a boxer-puncher. He's 17-3-3, 8 KOs, and in what his corner calls definitely do or die tonight. What's behind those numbers, Steve?
Well, an impressive draw, Nick. His best result came a year ago when he fought to a 10-round technical draw for the WBA welterweight title in the Ukraine against Yuri Nuznienko, who was 27-0. Technically speaking, this stat is downright freakish. 4 of Garcia's 7 most recent bouts have been technical decisions as the result of unintentional butts. And hardened vet, Garcia has a major experience advantage over Abregu. The Puerto Rican was a 10-round fighter 4 years before Abregu even turned pro.
And so that's the setup for our main event. Carlos Abregu puts his perfect record on the line against Irving Garcia in a 10-round welterweight bout. Once again, here's ring announcer Mike Vail.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Chumash Casino Resort here in Santa Ynez, California, where tonight Gary Shaw Productions and Showtime bring you an evening of professional boxing action. Tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Chairman Tim Noonan. The Assistant Executive Director is Bill Douglas. The 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside are Max DeLuca, Raul Caiz Sr., and Jerry Cantu. And the referee in charge of the action is Jack Reese. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get the action started, I have one more thing to say. Santa Ynez, California, are you ready? This is the Showbox main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the red trunks, official weight 147 1/4 pounds. He has a professional record of 17 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws, with 8 of his wins coming by way of knockout. from Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, let's welcome Irving Shuma Garcia. And now his opponent across the ring in the red corner. He is wearing the light blue trunks with the white trim. Official weight, 148 pounds. He enters the ring with an unblemished record of 26 wins. No losses, with 21 of his wins coming by way of knockout. From Salta, Argentina, let's welcome Carlos El Potro Abregu.
Aquí está bien, ¿ok? Pelea limpio, pelea duro, toca las manos, buena suerte. Mouthpiece.
The numbers, as you see, very similar with these two. The only difference, Garcia is 5 years older, but forget about that because he's had fewer fights.
Listo.
And as in our first fight here in California, the rules apply and are different from Unified in that you can be saved by the bell in the last round. Referee or doctor can stop the fight. Boy, how about that Jack Reese's Spanish? Not bad for a Brooklyn guy. Huh?
Hey, I know it. My father-in-law taught him in high school. You got to love it.
Another excellent referee here, and now we'll see Carlos Abregu. Again, he's looked like he was wilting against David Estrada. The crowd hated the decision here, and he knows he's got a lot to prove, Steve, to the American audience. Said he went home to Argentina and they considered him, yeah, they gave him an A- maybe just for passing the test against an American fighter, a guy who wouldn't go away in Garcia or in Estrada, but now in Garcia, very different kind of fighter.
Well, much different, and the hand speed has already become evident to Abregu because Garcia's landed a couple of nice jabs, much faster than David Estrada would have done.
A lot of people with warning signals out telling us, look out, this could be Irving Garcia's turnaround fight. We'll see. He's got to box and box some more. He's pretty solid technically, though, isn't he?
I think so.
I think he's got to make Abregu a little uncomfortable, though, too. Steve, you mentioned him sparring Cotto and guys like that. And wow, right hand, and Abregu's on the floor.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. ¿Quieres seguir? Ok, camina aquí. Dame los guantes, dame los guantes.
Abregu was unnerved against Estrada. He may be completely unwound now, getting dropped in the first. First time down as a pro, and here comes the upset-minded, big fight win-starved Irving Garcia. Abregu gets clocked with a big right hand, and Garcia is not getting ahead of himself, Steve, at all.
Only the second knockdown of Abregu's career, Nick. His eyes look okay. I can't say the same about his legs at this point.
What about Garcia, his tactics now?
Beautiful jab. Keep it up. It was the jab that came before the right hand that dropped Abregu. So keep the jab going and keep distance. I said before, Abregu has to get inside. On the outside right now, this doesn't look competitive.
He is punching with intent, though. Off that jab, Garcia, again, has not gotten carried away by that knockdown. And heck, he's got a 10-8 round in the bank here, unless he gets caught with something big. But Abregu is trying to will his way back offensively and just shake off the shock waves. He was down seconds into this fight. Abregu a little wild trying to land that big left hook. They want him to box a lot more, Steve, but now he's looking to land a big shot. Great start for Irving Garcia.
Ese jab tiene que regresar rápido.
You gotta start fast and use that jab fast. Let's keep going.
Ponga huevo, vamos. Huevo. Fondo.
Breathe.
Ese jab tiene que ir rápido porque esa derecha va a regresar.
Fast jab.
Una finta de vez en cuando. Vaselina. Finta, boom.
Keep moving. Move your head side to side.
Shocking beginning to this fight, action from round one. Look at that right hand. Clearly, Abregu never saw it coming at all. Second knockdown of his career. See it again. And Abregu's left hand was low, no doubt about that, but he didn't react at all to that right hand. And I talk about Nick Abregu needing to get inside. He's going to think twice about coming forward now because of what happened in round one.
Man, he's got to watch it. You know, don't go looking for any one-punch KO against a guy who really knows how to fight. And, you know, Steve, we said not a huge puncher. Boy, we were wrong. Garcia put him on the floor and absolutely drilled him with that perfect right hand.
I like what Abel Sanchez told Abregu, though, jab. Because if you're getting out jabbed, one way to deal with it, that's a big right hand by
Abregu in close here, and now he's trying to walk down, and he's got Garcia staggered. Garcia lost his balance here. Let's see. Garcia starting to lean in a little bit, and he's walking into shots, and he's in trouble. And Abregu, with a boatload of confidence and plenty of fuel now, is trying to close him out.
Wow. Watch for the right uppercut when Garcia bends over.
Will we get out of the second round here in our main event? Irving Garcia, trial horse, if he doesn't win this one. And Abregu down in the first, but the man in light blue is coming back with a vengeance here. Watch the uppercuts. As you said, Steve, that's Abregu's best punch. He tries to nail Garcia with just that, and Garcia is bouncing around trying to find his legs. He is in sad shape here. He better hold on.
Stop.
So much time left in the round, Nick. That's what's working against Garcia here.
I can't see Abregu if he has that kind of power, unless it's just false power from Argentina, not closing it out here. Garcia not throwing anything back.
Sigue con el upper. Usa el upper.
And nothing to the body, Nick, from Abregu. He's got to throw to the body a little bit.
Jack Reese is looking big here. Just a tight guard or any sloppy guard from Garcia as he gets thrown down, and Reese wisely, smartly calls that a push.
Get back.
But you know, Garcia bought himself a little time, Steve.
Yeah, Abregu cost himself a little time.
Cost himself, exactly. He's just getting bounced around here. And Abregu, if he would turn over one big shot, it should be over. There, he stings Garcia with a right. And Irving Garcia looks like a man who doesn't want any more. Looks like he's bleeding around the left eye. But Abregu smothering his own power.
I can't believe Garcia's still standing. He's lost his legs about 2.5 minutes ago.
Steve, Abregu with a lot of arm shots. I'm not saying he's not going to put Garcia away, and he runs into a right hand. Hey, round of the year. Garcia, a push.
Thank you.
Carlos. Come on, rápido.
What a critical turnaround that was. Abregu is coming on, trying to steam through Garcia, who had staggered Abregu, who got a little careless. Abregu tried to create some distance, forget about getting the stoppage here in the second. He had his world rocked back.
10-8 round in the first for Garcia, 10-8 round for Abregu in the second.
So what's the final verdict?
We're okay. Give him water, get him ice. You're okay, you're okay.
What a comeback for Carlos Abregu. There's the right uppercut. You see Garcia bent over. Something I said at the top, he doesn't, that's dreadful tactics against a big uppercut puncher like Abregu. Now Abregu's just trying to get the referee to stop the fight. I don't know how Garcia stayed up. He didn't stay up there, but he was pushed. Doesn't matter that there was no official knockdown in that round. That's a 10-8 round for Abregu. And look at Garcia coming back because Abregu's fearless there. Doesn't have to worry about taking any punches. What do you know? Garcia lands a huge right hand.
So it's a 10-point must. So how did you score
Oh, yeah,
the round?
10-8 round for Abregu, no doubt about it.
They knock down the difference as Abregu drills Garcia. They exchange big right hands. Abregu, the advertised slugger against Argentine competition. But, man, he's in the big leagues here in the welterweights fighting in America. And he gets hit here, but as Garcia does his best work when he's getting that full extension on his shots. I thought Abregu, as you said, Steve, was trying to close out the fight, but he was smothering his power a lot. He was effective with the uppercut, but
Nick, he landed enough shots where he should have stopped Garcia, and he didn't. Now, will that come back to haunt him? Maybe, because Garcia's in the fight with that right hand of his.
Garcia's got to be fighting with a fury. You know, I was so impressed. He had Abregu in trouble the first 30 seconds and didn't get ahead of himself. You know, in that fight last week on Showbox, Lattimore started going up for the knockdowns when he dropped Spinks. So I like the fact that Garcia stayed composed, but then it wound up costing him. And Abregu coming back with a nice exchange there, winning it inside to the body. Abregu's in the light blue, and in the red is Irving Garcia, the 10-year veteran from Puerto Rico, who absolutely has to win.
Stop.
Well, Nick, tell me who's going to land the last right hand, and I'll tell you who's going to win this fight.
That's it. Maybe if somebody could land a hook, it could surprise everybody in the place.
And we have a long way to go, and neither guy has done very much work to the body.
And Steve, we've seen fights like this before. I was saying that Abregu, I couldn't see how he couldn't finish off. But, you know, you see very well could go 10 rounds, but it's hard to see it now with the kind of power shots they're trading. Right hand from Garcia, and Abregu rethinks the situation. These exchanges, Steve, it's hard to see. You know, each guy's gotten caught in the exchange.
Exactly. They're both trying so hard for the knockout that if they don't land the lead shot, the big power shot, they're vulnerable. Nick, they're playing Russian roulette in there.
I love it. This is a great fight. It's maybe bad strategy for Irving Garcia. But Abregu looked like he was going to get unglued again there early in the fight.
Abregu's been 10 his last 2 fights. That experience is certainly going to help him here, Nick, although I don't think in either fight he was hurt as badly. Even Estrada didn't hurt him as badly as Garcia had.
Not at all. And Garcia was in full retreat, unlike Estrada, when he got rocked by Abregu. But he's pulled himself together pretty well. Still a pretty good round for Abregu.
Both fighters' faces showing the wear and tear after only 3 rounds.
Right hand from Abregu.
Break. Step out.
Third round melting away.
Time.
And the crowd should like this one. Hope you're enjoying it.
You're too straight. Keep moving. You got to move more. Don't. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving and throw the right.
Vamos, Carlos, vamos.
Give him some water.
Toma huevo que ganamos la pelea. No te confíes, Carlos, no te confíes. Subí las manos.
Keep moving your
Sobre la
hands.
izquierda de él, tírame la derecha.
When he
Sobre la
throws his
izquierda
left,
de él,
throw your right.
Vamos, vamos. Subirme las manos, vamos.
Keep your hands up.
Irving.
Former welterweight champ Carlos Baldemir is the manager of Abregu. You see him in the corner applying the ice.
We're in San Ynez, California. Our main event 10-round welterweights. Irving Garcia in the red has had Carlos Abregu on the floor, but Abregu has come back big with a 10-8 round of his own. Oh, solid shots, and Abregu seemed to have lost his balance there. He got shaken by that combination. Oh, they're just gunning for it. They're going for it.
These are vicious right hands.
But Garcia setting him up with the jab pretty nicely. Abregu trying to set up that big punching power too behind the jab, but he'll sneak one in occasionally. His hands up. He's almost waiting to counter Garcia's newfound aggression. We haven't seen him this aggressive in a long time, Steve.
And what kind of chin does he have? With Saeed Ouali, he got his eardrum busted, and that's why he went down.
Nice double hook from Abregu. We haven't seen enough hooks from him. Blood right on the bridge of the nose of Irving Garcia. It will not be a factor, it looks like. Not bleeding from the nostrils, so it's a surface cut, but who knows? Could be a nose break the way these guys have been going at it.
Garcia going back to that jab that was so effective in the first minute of the first round.
Garcia refuses really to back up, Steve.
Oh, and that left hook.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. ¿Quieres seguir? Camina aquí.
Trouble for the Argentine. He is dazed.
That was just that little half step back from Garcia. Look at the time left in the fourth. Garcia's got to go ripping in and going for it. And Abregu's got to hold on.
Abregu's hand's very low there.
And he's not holding on at all. Why isn't he clinching? He's dazed, Steve. And Garcia could close him out now if he lands one more clean shot. Look at Abregu's face. Garcia's got to just go in and drill him. Now it's Abregu desperately holding on.
Hey, let him go, let him go. Hey, go hit him. This is from a headbutt.
Forget about defense.
Forget
what
about
a thrilling fight this is.
And the way
Garcia eats a shot.
Nick, the way this is going, if Garcia doesn't finish soon, he might be in trouble.
He might be, and he could get suckered into walking into something big like that. That right hand hurt him.
Abregu losing all form, looking amateur.
Oh, what fabulous two-way action. Abregu looked out, and now he's coming on big, and Garcia's going to get dropped. He's not getting up. Jack Reese calls it off. Steve, I don't want to get carried away, but I haven't seen a better fight this year. Oh, ShoBox main event. It was torrid. Start to finish. Garcia gave it everything. Look at his nose. Everything he had. What an hombre, Steve. But same with Abregu. Steve, I thought he was out in that round.
I agree. What heart from both fighters. And so many changes of momentum in this fight, Nick, I couldn't keep track of them. I'll tell you this, there's a tendency at a point like this to criticize or analyze the two fighters. I don't want to do that. I just want to enjoy the fight. That was an amazing fight.
Just real firepower here from both guys. Carlos Abregu, hey, he won the American audience. He came in saying he really needed to prove his worth to American fight fans.
That's right. They were booing him last time he was here.
Oh, did he bite down? You know, he could have been out of this fight. Hardly clinched in, and Abel Sanchez saying, wow, we dodged a cannon there. Fabulous fight here on ShoBox, the main event. Carlos Abregu still undefeated, and Irving Garcia, 10-year vet, trial horse, whatever you want to say. I want to see this guy again. We'll see if he wants to get back so soon.
How about a rematch in about an hour? What do you say?
They'd both go for it.
Wow.
Exciting and thrilling from the opening bell. Let's get the official word now from ring announcer Mike Vale.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout ends at 2 minutes and 59 seconds of round number 4. For your winner by knockout, Carlos El Potro Abregu. Remember, we have one more fight here. One more fight.
Well, now the crowd on their feet for Carlos Abregu. And what a show of respect for Irving Garcia. Knockdown after knockdown, power shots, and here it is, Steve.
Left hook by Garcia, and if you really want a simplistic explanation of why Abregu won this fight, it's that when Garcia put Abregu on the floor, Abregu got up somehow. I don't know how he got up from that left hook, because it was about as flush as could be. Abregu was defenseless. But when Abregu put Garcia down, Garcia didn't get up. And Abregu was there to be taken right here. Somehow, after this count, the mandatory 8 by Jack Reese, and Jack Reese, believe me, he studied the fighter there to make sure he was okay. Abregu had to, look how many shots he throws here. He's not just loading up with one shot. Gets Garcia in trouble, and to me, that knockdown of Garcia, which turned out to be the decisive factor in the fight, that came as much from exhaustion as it did from anything else.
Steve, I got to say, you know, fear, and Abregu looked fearful at times, could either paralyze you or make you angry. And look at the fury as he comes back.
Now, Garcia went down hard, Nick, and right there, he's almost flat with his head against the ropes. And it looks like Jack Reese called it about, what, halfway through the count. And Garcia initially complaining, but, you know, doing so flat on his back with his head resting on the ropes, exhausted and hurt. I'm not going to complain about that stoppage at all.
Oh, not at all. As we see poise under absolute machine gun fire from Carlos Abregu. You know, as we see the scores, it really doesn't matter, does it, Steve? You know, we were saying, I was about to say, well, we've seen guys get dropped early, and then it winds up being a 10-round fight as they settle in. Neither guy wanted to settle in and make this boxing. They really wanted to come out, guns blazing, fire and bullets, whatever you want to say, and gun smoke. Last man standing, right?
And the reason it was such back and forth action is because both guys, from the very start, were going for the knockdown. Every punch. First it was right hands. Turned out that Abregu landed the big right uppercuts, and the knockdown from Garcia came from a left hook. But they both went for it, and really, to repeat what I said earlier, Nick, it was a game of Russian roulette.
It was. They both were shook up badly. Both guys on the floor as we look at a knockout firepower package here of highlights in a candidate for Fight of the Year. Irving Garcia has Abregu in serious hurt seconds in.
Incredible right hand, and then he puts Abregu down for a second time with a left hook. Abregu had been down once before, but you know what? We weren't sure what this kid was made of. A lot of big wins in Argentina, you know, against questionable opposition. Boy, he showed heart, and he showed a lot of power in this fight to come back and do that to Irving Garcia. That was pretty impressive by Abregu.
Yeah, both guys hit the power alleys. Forget about defense. Not a lot of holding on. As you said, Steve, it was pure offense from both guys. And, you know, the interesting thing, they were talking about Carlos Abregu, and Abel Sanchez says, couple more fights against guys like this, and then we're ready to fight anybody for the title. I don't know if any titleist wants to fight Carlos Abregu based on this. But secondly, I don't think Carlos Abregu needs any more fights like this before he gets his title shot.
No, this is not a fight that a handler, a manager, or a promoter wants from his fighter, except that it makes him a big name. Everybody's going to be talking about this fight because it was so exciting. And you know what? REMATCH, Nick, I'll take it.
If Irving Garcia could take some time off and recover from this, it was absorbing, compelling, as we said, bell to bell. Hope you enjoyed it as we close out this night and wrap it up here from Santa Ynez in our opening part. Marvin Quintero, solid aggression, steady pressure, impressive